can you name this champion trailblazer?
Coming up on Cycle!
And once in a while, we'll tell you about that other breed of cyclist, the racer. Did you know that a world champion racer lives right here in Vancouver?
But you won't find her face on any bubblegum cards or t-shirts.
Now Sydor makes her move. Past Tomlinson. Sydor driving now for the finish. Will it be enough for a bronze? Reardon in pursuit, and it will be Alison Sydor. Bronze medal Canada.
Alison Sydor, world-class road racer. Alison Sydor, women's world champion cross-country mountain bike racer.
9.5 minutes into the race. They continue along the long straightaway here.
To excel on the road or the trail is fantastic. To excel on both, that's phenomenal. Practically unheard of. Alison Sydor of North Vancouver is a cycling superstar. So why isn't she a household name, even in her hometown?
So the Canadian women.
Do you know who this lady is? No. This is the world champion cyclist from North Vancouver, Alison Sydor. Ever heard of her?
No, but I heard her talking about cycling in Europe a minute ago.
Should people hear of her?
Yes.
Ever heard of Wayne Gretzky?
Yep.
Ever heard of Pavel Bure?
Yep.
You ever heard of Alison Sydor?
No.
You ever heard of Alison Sydor?
No.
Did you know that we have a world champion that lives right here in North Vancouver?
No, I didn't.
You think we should know?
I think so.
Why?
Well, I think it's good for the community to know what's going on, and I think it's a good idea. Like, you know, I think cycling hasn't gotten good enough attention. I think most of the people do that more than they play hockey around here in Vancouver.
So there you have it. Competitive cycling just doesn't have a wide enough following in North America, but overseas, that's a different story.
It's a really fun experience as an athlete, as a cyclist, to be competing in Europe, because that's really where the sport is so big.
And people recognize you there more than in Canada?
Oh, for sure. You know, and I think that's because there's just so much of the sport on TV. There's so many more bike magazines that are pretty mainstream magazines, and so yeah, there does tend to be a little more recognition over there. I think most athletes enjoy competing and enjoy the spotlight when they're in competition, but outside competition, you know, just speaking for myself, I'm a pretty quiet, private person, and I enjoy the fact that I don't have to worry about having my privacy.
Alison is gearing up for the '96 Olympics in Atlanta, where mountain bike racing will become an official event. It'll be a big boost for the sport. That's what Alison wants, a higher profile not for herself, but for bike racing in general.
Sometimes I feel almost like a religious fanatic about it, and I want to get out there and tell everybody how great the sport is. And so, but I think that, you know, we're seeing more media attention given to the sport. And I think that's good, because I like promoting the sport.
Alison Sydor, still plenty of strength for this sprint. Sydor pulls ahead of Gayton, and Sydor will win.
Canada's Bike Trail of the Week.
Well, we're off to bike the Kettle Valley Trail. The trail's about 200 kilometers long and takes about 3 days to ride. Now, we're not that ambitious today, so we'll just do a day ride. This trail used to be part of the old Kettle Valley Railroad. Now, today, the trains and rails are long gone, but the land hasn't gone to waste. Parts of it are used by cyclists, hikers, campers, and in the winter, snowmobiling and cross-country skiing is great. Now this is one of the many train trestles you cross. You get a spectacular view of Otter Lake. The swimming here is great, so is the fishing. This is the Tulameen River. In the old days, miners used to pan it for gold. It looks like some are still trying. Now the riding here is fantastic, and all the huffing and puffing uphill pays off with the fabulous views. Plus, you get a great ride going back down. So if you're looking for that combination of great riding and spectacular spectacular scenery. Come on, ride the Kettle Valley Trail, especially along the Tulameen River.
If you have...
Hi, how are you today?
I'm all right. How's it going?
Pretty good, thanks.
So, before I buy a bike, I was wondering, what type of service are you going to offer me?
Well, we have a very comprehensive service policy, and any new bike that gets purchased here gets free service for a year. And that means anytime you have a problem with the bike, you just bring it back here and we take care of it for you.
So, sell me a bike.
Well, not so fast. First, I need to know a bit about yourself. What type of person you are, what type of riding do you think you're going to be doing?
What kind of riding do I do?
So the reason I need to know what kind of riding you do is because I want to make sure we get the bike that's best for you.
And I tell you how much I can spend, and that's it?
Well, not necessarily. You have to also plan for some accessories. Like you're definitely going to need a helmet. Lock is a necessity. You might want a pump and a spare tube and a patch kit. So you have to look at the whole package and just make sure that you fit it all in there.
Thanks a lot, Paul.